We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tăng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, tịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân, giáo đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư, lý khổ đắc lạc, tốt chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Nan Tô Su Che Do Ye A La Hơ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Ta Đắc Tha Tu Ya Đa Ya A La Ha Đề Tam Miệu Nam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jian, wan jie nan zao yu, wo jin jian wen de shou qi, yuan jie ru lai zhe shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ting Liang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good knowing advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨精良大士，师父上人，各位出家人，各位善知识，弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Hòa thượng Tiến Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone. Today is the 24th of September 2023. We're here at Way Mountain Temple to continue discussing the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. Thank you all for joining us. Right now we're on slide 318. It's talking about the attainments, how these first Dhyana heaven celestial kings got there. The first Dhyana heaven is the very first heaven that's above our desire realm. Our desire realm is called desire because it's full of desires. You have desires day and night. We live here, we want things. We aspire for things. That's natural. That's a natural state of existence for us. When you go to first dhyana, you experiencing the samadhi, you enter samadhi, and therefore you free from a lot of afflictions. A lot of afflictions harass us down here. So that's why it's rather a wonderful experience. The people who practice Chan, who practice Pure Land, who practice Tantras, they need to enter at least first dhyana because they see what it's about, why we're doing this. Okay? So for a split moment there in their lives, they experience this bliss. And you know what? It's so important because once your mind experiences that kind of state, that kind of bliss, you can get back to it again. If you were to describe it, it cannot be described. The mind has to be there. Yet it has to be induced into a state of mind that you experience. And once you experience it, you will get back there, for sure. From now until the end of time. Once you get there, once you got to this any level of samadhi, in the future, you can get back to it very, very easily. Okay? Why? Because you got there is because you have the blessings. The blessings are here. It doesn't go away. Okay? So wherever you are, you carry the blessings with you. The money you have in your bank account, you can't take it with you. But your blessings from cultivation, you take it with you. And that's true wealth. And each samadhi level corresponds to level of blessings or wealth, if you will. This is a true wealth, not the worldly measures of wealth that we use. They are worldly. They are impermanent. This is what sticks to you, not worldly things. Worldly thing is temporary, one lifetime, that's it. These blessings here, spiritual blessings, are your spiritual wealth. Yes, sir. So what do you want? Worldly wealth, super lotto, or super blessings?
Super lotto would be nice, but yeah.
Thank you.
What
nice
about
to see you too.
Skills? What about skills we develop in this lifetime? Would they translate over to the next lifetime? So someone like Lionel Messi, was he an athlete in his past lifetime? Is that why he's so good now?
Probably, most likely. And in the future, he'll be a good soccer player too. So that's how it is. The skills you develop also carries with you as well. All right? Anything else? Okay. 318. Brahma King, universal cloud, sound, gain a passage into liberation of entering all Buddha's oceans of sounds.
普云音，梵王得入诸佛一切音声海解脱门。
319 commentary slide. He says here, this universal cloud sound. So apparently he emits a sound that's like a thunderclouds. Okay, and so pretty distinctive. And sound here can be heard everywhere in the first dhyana heavens. Okay, so it's pretty powerful. Celestial king. Okay? When he wants to, he commands attention. Far and wide. Okay? It's not talk. He can do it. Okay? That's his power. He became enlightened. How? By entering all Buddhas. This is all the Buddhas. Oceans of sounds. And my question is, how can sounds, entering or hearing sounds, result in being enlightened? Wouldn't that be nice? You listen to the Beatles, to Taylor Swift, and you become enlightened? Do you or don't you? So why? How can the Buddha sounds help you become enlightened? I challenge you right away. As soon as you finish eating lunch, you came here, sit down. I have a question for you. Surprise quiz. Yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. I believe it's because, your example, the Buddha's sound carries enlightenment substance. When I hear it, I receive that substance like a transmission.
Okay. Yeah. Super Lotto Man?
How is it possible that a sound results in liberation when the Vajra Sutra says that all the...
he who seeks me by its sound
practice
cannot see me. Practice a deviant path.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it takes a super Lotto man to, to detect that. Yeah, there's a contradiction, yes? Anyone? That's it? That's all the excitement we're going to get for today? Continue. 5.
Well,
Answer yourself.
is the Buddha's sound a different type of sound? Is it not sound as we know it, or is it no sound? In fact, is it just maybe enlightening substance disguised as sound?
Well, you have to listen to his sound. I haven't heard it. I was born too late. You got to experience it. Anyone? Huh? How can listening to sounds help you become enlightened? It's such an interesting point. Yes, sir. In the back. 6.
Thank you, Master. I don't know if it directly relates to this one, but Guanxi Pusa is the one who hears the sounds of the world. So they hear the sounds compassionately and then take action to remedy them.
We're not talking about they hearing sounds. We're hearing their sounds. You're grasping at the wrong end of the knife. Yes, DTT.
Master, you hear? Yes.
Yeah.
Master, I think because the Buddha sounds have the principle behind it, and then when you hear that, you can detach from what you attached to.
The sound has the Dharma behind it, the teachings behind it. All right? Anyone else? We have 4 here. Over here, WMT.
Yes, Master. I would like to hear more about how sounds can result in liberation.
I would like to know too myself. If it's funny because it's just between us, girls. Left-phone people are not supposed to listen to music. Okay? They're not supposed to entertain themselves. But this guy here sits there, and thank you very much, and sits there and listens to all kinds of sounds of the Buddha. What do you call that? Entertainment, man. There's so many contradictions. How do we resolve this? You see, he really enjoys it. I'm envious. I'm jealous.
Well, it seems to me that excluding music as a form of attaining samadhi is you're defeating the purpose of one really great way of being in tune with what Buddha is teaching and getting into samadhi, because music can affect your brain. Your brain is going to affect your mind and get you in, for better words you could use, into the mood of being able to concentrate, drop your thoughts, and meditate into samadhi just by the act of music being exposed to you.
Yeah, this morning we did the Great Compassion Repentance. What do you call that? Music. Yeah? Okay, 5.
Thank you, Master. I believe you said something like this in a recent lecture. When you hear enlightenment, or when you hear wisdom, you can then imitate it.
And imitate it. Okay, 3.
Alo, mô Phật Thầy, theo con nghĩ là những người mà được nghe được tiếng âm thanh của Phật Bồ Tát, những người đó là tu rất là cao siêu, rất là căn cơ, rất là cao mới được có cơ hội theo như vậy. Họ nghe là họ giác ngộ là phải rồi. Mô Phật Thầy.
Emitofuo, Master, I think that those special people who were able to listen to the sounds of the Buddha and Bodhisattva, their potential is very high and profound. Therefore, of course, they will attain enlightenment. That is, the thing has to happen.
Go first.
Thank you, Master. My guess is that when we hear the sound of Buddha, our mind it was so magical that our mind just focused on the sound and we lost track and we're not thinking about anything else. So maybe that is the way Buddha helped us reach.
Anyone else? Yes, Colombia.
Thank you, Master. I think when the Buddha speaks, he's planting bliss and the seeds of enlightenment, and at the same time, the seeds that are already there are maturing already.
Okay, anyone else? 9. Yeah.
Thank you, Master. I have here on YouTube, Veronica L., because it comes from the Buddha. And then I have here Miguel from Portugal. The Buddha's sound would be words that can cause enlightenment.
Very good. Lotto Man?
Yeah, I think it's a little misleading because I don't think that the sounds can themselves cause enlightenment. Brahma King Universal Cloud Sound probably needs to listen and then follow instructions really well, because you can listen to Buddha, you can listen to mantras or the Dharma, but if you're not following directions and putting the effort in yourself, you're not going to attain fruition.
Very good. Let me change perspectives a little bit. What if you're able to record the Buddha sounds? Would you be interested in buying it? Absolutely. Yes. Definitely yes. No hesitation. I want to, whatever it costs, I want to buy it. Yes? Absolutely. Because we have proof here. Wait until it's something important before you clap your hands. Let's go, Mrs. Clues all the time. Okay? So the point here is that you can talk all you want, but there's something called magic, Buddha's magic. His sound is magical. Okay? And we have proof here. There's a guy here, a celestial king by the name of Universal Cloud Sound. He was enamored by the Buddha sound. Then he said, I want to use sound to teach as well. Okay? So whatever he got from listening to Buddha, all the Buddha sounds, he said, this is such a beautiful way to help living beings. So therefore, he is the living proof that the Buddha sounds is magical. If you listen to it often enough, you will become enlightened. That's all we need to know. Because we're not high enough to understand, to really be able to dissect it, to really pinpoint what is the cause of this person becoming enlightened, the other person becoming enlightened, and so forth. We can't do that. But all we need to know is this is Buddha sound. It's so wonderful because that's what he did. He sat there, meditated, and he retrieved the sounds of this Buddha, and then listened to it, and the sound of that Buddha, and listened to it, the sound of the other Buddhas, and so forth. And so he listened, to all the Buddhas. Imagine the kind of spiritual powers he has to be able to access all Buddhas. He's no ordinary celestial king, let's face it. Yes? It's an impossible task, and yet he managed to pull it off. What did he do after that? He became first Dhyana heaven king. Speaking of disappointment to his parents, he's just a king in the first Dhyana heaven. I can't even tell my neighbors about it. Okay? It's wonderful. You see, to me, it's fascinating because this guy here has tremendous spiritual powers. I can't think of many people who can do that, pull off the Buddha sound here and the other Buddha somewhere so far away in the universe. He pulls it over and listens to it. That's incredible. Huh? Now, come to think of it, you're impressed, aren't you? It's so impressive. And by listening to it, he became enlightened. Nothing added. It's so beautiful. And the Chinese or the people who explain the sutra, they gloss over this. This is secret of this celestial king here, which is a superior bodhisattva, mahasattva. And he did that, and he became enlightened. We're talking about big enlightenment, And then after that, after he got all this huge achievement, what did he do? Became a king, celestial king, a first dhyana of all the places. He has the first dhyana, not even second dhyana, third dhyana. Very lowly. It is, to me, it is so remarkable, so humble. So it's like, what would you like to do now that you are enlightened? You want to go to Disneyland? He says, no, I want to go to first dhyana heavens. Seriously? Isn't that cool? It's so beautiful. So, what is the deduction that you can do from that? Listen to the sages' teachings. They have the magical powers. Just listen to the sages. Sounds, teachings. We can no longer listen to the Buddha sounds because it's not available. I promise, if I'm able to retrieve the sound, we go in business together. Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, why build temples? Why, teach people? It's too much of a hassle. Just sell the Buddha sound. The sound of Buddhas. Make a movie, Sound of Buddha. And help people become enlightened. You guys thinking so small. I'm thinking very big. This is only a stepping stone for me. As soon as I figure out how to get the Buddha sound, we go into business. You hear? Okay. Next, 320. Brahma king, freely contemplating the sounds and speech of the world, gain a passage into liberation of recollecting how the bodhisattvas teach and transform all sentient beings with expedience.
观世言音自在梵王，得能意念菩萨教化一切众生方便解脱门。
321 commentary. Another guy who can also pooling a lot of information. You know, what did he do? This guy here is by the name of freely contemplating the sounds and speech in the world. You know, it's like this guy is enlightened, and then, you know, unlike Master Shinhua's disciples, they say, okay, I'm enlightened. You are too ikiya. I'm going to stay in my temple, okay? And open my door on Sunday only. And between 10 and 1 o'clock. Take it or leave it. Okay? Because you are not good company. Okay? And if you come, I will send the lowly people to take care of you. I will sit in the back and meditate. Versus this guy here, Celestial King here, he contemplate the sound of speech in the world. Okay? And how did he become enlightened? These people engage. This is Mahayana people, folks. Mahayana is we engage. That's how we gain wisdom, true wisdom, big wisdom. You disengage, you are developing limited wisdom. The big wisdom is thanks to all of you. Each one of you are helping these Mahasattvas build the wisdom. This is what the Hinayana or the Hinayana Mahayana people do not get. They said, I see how ugly you are, how disappointing, how inferior you are and so forth. I don't want anything to do with you because I can't get to you. I can't teach you. You're too slow. Okay? Whereas these people, they engage. They do the difficult things to do, things that that lowly people would deem it to be beneath them. Celestial King of First Dhyana. My God, I use that. My God, I mean, what are you doing there, man? Get out. Question from JC.
예, 아까 안녕하십니까 마스터.
안녕하세요.
아까 방금 전달락에서 보음왕 천왕 말씀하시면서 성자들의 음성을 많이 듣는 것이 좋다라고 말씀 주셨는데요. 그것은 이제 연장하면은 그 성자들의 어떤 그 이제 만트라나 어떤 그런 찬팅 그런 관세음보살 보음품 찬팅이나 이런 사운드를 듣는 것도 포함할지 여쭙고 싶습니다.
So, Master, you just mentioned about Brahma King Universal Cloud Sound. And does that mean, and also you mentioned about sages, listening to sages' voice or sound. Does that mean that are you encouraging us to listen to mantra or any chanting, anything with the Kuan Yin Bodhisattva's ceremony, anything related to that? Should we listen to that more?
No. Thank you for asking. I'm asking you to listen to the sounds like from Master Shinhua. Remember, he listened to the sounds of the Buddhas. Since I made the assertion that we cannot find recordings of access the sounds of the Buddhas, unlike that Mahasattva, we cannot. So what's the next best thing for us? See, we use him as a model. The process, he got there because he listened to someone higher than him. He's a Mahasattva. Okay? For him to get to his level, he listened to Buddha's sound. We are not a Mahasattva. We are much lower. Therefore, what's the next best thing for us? We should do the same thing, the same exact methodology. If you want to have wisdom, you want to have big success, okay? Then you have to listen to the teachings or the dharmas from the enlightened teachers, not just any teacher. Is it clear? For that Mahasattva, Celestial King, whatever his name was, okay? I don't mean to be disrespectful. He's much higher level than I am, okay? But for what he did is that he listened to someone who's higher level than he is, much higher level, I assure you. Okay? That's how he became a Mahasattva. At the Mahasattva level, okay, the only sounds that he deemed worthy, okay, to study, to listen to is the Buddha sounds. Because he can. We cannot, but we should also imitate the same Dharma door. That is to listen to all the sounds of enlightened people. Is that clear? And again, I need to emphasize for you, not just any enlightened people. I want you to listen to only the Mahasattva who are sent to our world. Don't listen to, I don't know, I'm not going to name names, okay? I made enough enemies. But I can name a name. Master YongHua is a Mahasattva. You listen to his sounds, you listen to his teaching, whether it's Chinese, whether it's translation, which is not as good in Chinese. You get so much more out of it, a lot more than you realize. Is that clear? This is why we're studying this. Because we want to imitate what they're doing that work for them. What's the principle behind why they succeeded? What's their secret? Okay? It's too bad that the typical explanation sutra, they went through this first chapter and they basically read through it and explain superficially. But to me, there is a secret teaching here where he says, look, these guys are the who's in the universe. I mean, they're well known throughout the universe, and they're well known to all Buddhas. That's why they're there. Okay? And how they got there, that's what interests me. Okay? They're very big shots, they're big wigs in Buddhism, in Mahayana. It takes you to be a very big shot to be able to attend and you have your name mentioned in the sutra. Okay? That's how big they are. And so that's why I'm interested in knowing how they got there and how we can learn from them. And that's what this chapter is about. Not simply just to name names and for us to drop names. That's so shallow. Yes. Do what you love.
Thank you, Master. I'm doing it. Something that's particularly profound to me about this Brahma King. In my career, I've attended train the trainer sessions where you have a master trainer teaching new trainers how to train others. And that's what I'm reading here. This Brahma King gained passage into liberation of recollecting how bodhisattvas teach and transform other people. That's just incredibly profound and powerful, because if, in my experience, if you know training techniques and you can teach others to use them, the benefits are exponential.
Very good. Anyone else? There's also a hidden message here. You want to hear it, or shall we gloss over it?
Master, could you please tell us the hidden message?
How much time do you have? Huh? She says there's still an hour left. Why are you in a hurry, man? You don't have to leave until 9 p.m. Okay, this is so beautiful here. This is the hidden message here is that he became enlightened. How? By studying, by recollecting, meaning studying. Okay, he said, this bodhisattva, in order to teach the stupid people, okay, this person is very, very stupid. It's stupid number one. What did he do? When he saved stupid number two, okay, what did he do? Same thing, like Master Shenhua, when he had his Vietnamese disciples, what did he do to get them enlightened? He got his Chinese disciple, what did he teach them to get them enlightened? When he got pandas, what did he do to teach them? You know what I mean? So he has this repository of these success cases that you can classify into how to write a book on how to teach seals, dolphins, pandas, Vietnamese, Chinese, men, women, right? So that's what he's doing. He has access to this information. He said, wow, this is how he saves Asian women by yelling at them. And make them love it. Asian women, when their husband yells at them, they hate it. But when Master yells at the Asian women, they love it. No, no. My point here is that, never mind, it's not about me. It's about the fact that you have these success stories that you can, extrapolate and see the theory behind it. Okay, you talk about scientifically speaking. Okay, you have all these data points, you extrapolate, you find the common thread. Yes? Okay? And so, that's what he's doing. That's not a secret. If you think that's a secret, it's statistics, it's mathematics, it's not secret. So what's the secret behind that? It's fantastic. Therefore, because you have all these data points, then all you have to do is from his experience. You teach, for example, a Vietnamese woman who is short and have a PhD. You see, you have all these characteristics. You can do a cross-reference and you can find out what are the choices. So what he's doing, what he does is that he knows how to cross over specific types of people. Okay? That's how he became enlightened. Because he himself, as he moved along in his even his own levels, he has problems. He can interpolate and then say, this is how I'm going to fix my problem. No? You're not impressed. That's how I see it. I said, wow, he has the solutions. Expedients are solutions to fix each and every single difficult cases. And that's true wisdom. Wisdom is from solving problems that others cannot solve. Otherwise, it's just called copycat. So he's this incredible teacher. By learning how he saved, that woman there, the other one, and I say, wow! He became enlightened. So he knows how to resolve the obstructions to enlightenment. Thank you. Good timing. Yes, sir, 6.
Thank you, Master. It sounds like what he's doing is learning from good knowing advisors on how to use expedience. If we ever were in the situation where we wanted to learn that, how could we synthesize what they do with wisdom?
No, there's a second message in there is that you need to teach and transform sentient beings. Bodhisattvas don't waste time teaching and transforming all sentient beings with experience. If it were a waste of time, they would not bother. So that's the second message. Okay? When you have wisdom, you want to grow your wisdom, you have to teach and transform sentient beings. That's what the non-Buddhists don't get. That's what the Hinayana people fail to understand. All right? Anyone else? That's right. Look at that. Now we talking. 322. Brahma king, still and quiet, bright eyes, gain a passage into liberation of manifesting the different aspects of worldly karmic retributions.
极尽光明眼梵王，得现一切世间业报相，各差别解脱门。
323. So this guy here, still and quiet, bright eyes. Okay, so he chooses to teach by revealing his strength, his samadhi power, through his eyes. Okay, bright meaning radiant. Okay, it shines. All right? That's what he does. Now, but how did he get there? He got there, reached big enlightenment by manifesting the different aspects of worldly karmic retributions. Okay, aspects have a problem with it. Again, you have to forgive these people. They don't understand. They're talking about state of bodhisattvas, and these are like professors, or they have a PhD in English or Chinese or Sanskrit. It's quite low compared to these bodhisattvas. Okay, so that's why the translation a little bit off, slightly off. Okay, the Chinese says he manifests all worldly karmic retribution, xiang. Xiang here goes with xian, therefore there's no need to translate xiang. Agree or disagree, Chinese-speaking people? In English, we don't need to emphasize xiang anymore. Because it's the xiang is translated into manifest already. Okay? That's why xiang here is not aspects. It's just manifestations or the marks, but they're not aspects. Okay? It's more like characteristics. Okay? So aspects of worldly karmic retribution, I have a problem with it. Okay? But basically to manifest the different worldly karmic retributions. And that's plenty. To add aspects is really not that helpful. Doesn't make it any more accurate, more precise at all. Personally, that's how I feel. Okay, I thought I'd throw it out at you. Okay, now, never mind. It's okay. Aspects is okay, but I feel that they don't get it. You know, these people, they you translate this way. I feel that you're adding more spices than you're supposed to. It's perfect already in English, you know. Anyway, he manifests worldly karmic retribution, different types of worldly karmic retributions. Okay, and Master YongHua has a commentary. He says, if you want to know the causes of previous lives, okay, then this life is what you're receiving. Does it make sense? Okay? If you obstruct your wife from coming to the temple, anyone? See? We don't have that problem here. I hear constantly. I hear the Asian women. We go back to Asian again. Asian women said, my husband complains when I go to the temple. Yes, you're neglecting me. You work all week, and weekend instead of spending time with me and the family, you take off and disappear in the temple. God knows what you're doing in the temple. Yeah? So husbands typically complain bitterly about the fact that wives or their mothers go to the temple. And so what this phrase is saying, that if you know why that your husband complained about you going to the temple, because in the past you complained to him about his going to the temple. That's Chinese wisdom. So stop complaining. Stop saying my husband isn't clean. In a prior life, you didn't clean at all. Huh? Does it make sense now? I mean, okay? And therefore, similarly, it says that if you want to know how the future will unfold, look at what you're doing right now. Okay? So for example, for many of us, if you want to be rich in the future, okay, give. Yes? All right? So that's what, so what he does is this guy does, he recollects. So he saw the causes and effect. And therefore the message here is, plant the right causes, guys. Yeah? Plant the right causes for enlightenment. It sounds like he's manifesting all sorts of cause and effects. No. He became enlightened by manifesting the right kinds of cause and effects. Okay? That's from my perspective. Anyone? Yes, sir.
What if we have an effect that we don't like? How do we change it?
If you don't like what you are today, there's always plastic surgery.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Great minds think alike. So what if you don't like what's happening to you? There's so many changes. There's so many remedies nowadays. Today's technology is incredible. If you don't like it, change your sex. Became a woman man. Never mind. Okay, so what if you don't like it? Help him out. He's unhappy. This young man here is very unhappy with his lot. It comes out right away. As soon as I finish saying, there's things happening to me because I did something. So if I don't like it, what am I to do? He means right now, not in the future. Yeah? Yeah? Yes, 5.
Well, I appreciate the fact that is letting me be known that I'm responsible for everything I have in my life and everything in my life. So if I want to make it better, I can actually do that. And it's not like I can blame someone for what's going on in my life. So it's...
No. Blaming someone is not going to help, sir. No. That's manic.
From what this is saying...
That's what manic people do. They blame others for their suffering.
Yes, because karmically it's impossible. Because everything we have now is... Everything is from our own individual past causes.
Yes, sir. You brought it upon yourself.
Yeah. So if I want to make improvements to my life, what if there's something I don't like that I wanted to change?
What can you do? It's a fair question. He says, okay, it sounds good. Now that I know that whatever I did is the cause of what is happening to me. How can I change it? Yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. I believe you can repent and reform.
Repent and reform. That's one way, absolutely. Anyone else? Any other ways? He doesn't go to repentance and reform. So what else can you do for him? It brings to mind an example, Master Shinwa. And I know that you who are sensitive, I encourage you to plug your ears because you may not like what I'm going to tell you. And again, it's not my fault, it's Master Shinwa's fault. Okay, Chung-in, plug your ears. Chung-in is very sensitive. Yeah. Okay. Master Shinwa recounted, this is one of the stories fascinated me, and I love it when I first learned about Mahayana from Master Shinwa. He said, he told the story of an Arhat monk in China. It's very famous, China or India, I don't remember. But he's I think he's born with the claws instead of hands. Chinese people. Okay, so he's born with claws instead of fingers, and therefore the mother thought he was a monster, so she threw him out. And so he snuck around, and he lived with the eagles. And one day, an Arhat monk happened by. He saw the boy, and he took the boy back to the temple and raised him. And so the boy became a fourth-stage Arhat, became very famous, and became a teacher, national teacher. He was the teacher of emperors. Okay? He's very, very famous. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Okay. Very, very famous. Okay? And one day, a disciple of his came to him and said, "Master, my husband beats me up constantly." Okay? He would yell at me, he would slap me, he would spank me, beat me up, leave mark on my bodies. Okay? And at times, I would be at home cooking away and taking care of the household chores, and he would come back from work, close the door, and the first thing he did is chase after me to beat me up. No rhyme or reason. He just, as soon as he sees me, he wants to beat me up. And so you can imagine, so when I heard that story, in my mind there's this video clip where the husband chases the woman around the sofa, The husband would kick the sofa out of the way and grab the woman and beat her up senseless and drag her, into the kitchen or something. Anyway, I love the violence. But the point is that she said, if he keeps it up, and the latest one is he would go back. He doesn't beat me up anymore. He would go back and bring a whip. Now he whips me every day. As you can imagine, Super Lotto, she didn't like it. Huh? What is she supposed to do? You remember the story? Her master, the guy with the claws for hands, he said, "I can help you fix it." And he said, please, save my life. I can't fix this much more. Please, master, save me. And he says, and he said, She went back, did it, and husband never touched her ever again. That's experience, man. You like? What's his experience? He explained to her in a prior life, she was a man. Who else? What else can she be? Because she's beaten by a man. Therefore, in a prior life, she was a man. Make sense? And she had this mill where, they grind the grains, the grains to make flour. The grinding stones, and they made up the grinding stones. It's very heavy, and it's so heavy that you would get a donkey, and get the donkey pull that thing around, and go round and round and round and round all day. And the woman owner, felt the donkey is too slow. You know how donkey walks? Very slowly. Hey man, what's happening? And so the owner would take a whip and whip the donkey. And then he would walk faster and go faster. And the owner, faster man, And that's what her master told her. In a prior life, you were the man. Your husband was the donkey. So now he whips you, it's just right. You read that story? You remember now? A beautiful story, isn't it? It's so fascinating to me. So he said, so how did he recommend that she do to fix it? She did to fix it? Huh? He said, I tell you what, go home, stop by a leather store, okay? Get a whip. Get a real good whip. May have them fix 5 more heads, 5 more strings. And go back. When your husband sees you and chases after you with his whip, he say, just a minute, time out. I have a better whip for you. And so he said, seriously? And so, okay, you're asking for it. It's not me, you hear? So the husband would get the whip with the 6 heads and whip the heck out of her. And that's how she resolved the karmic debts. By, I want to hear it from your mouth, young man, enduring it. Isn't it beautiful? Stop whining. Endure. You don't like it, don't do it again. But endure it. That's cultivation. Okay? Beautiful story. What's his name? You remember his name? I don't remember his name. So long ago. I didn't dare talk about this because like wife beating. I mean, it's kind of taboo subject here in the West. Even Xian Shun has this petulant look in her face. How can you bring up wife beating in Dharma talks? Anyway, JMT.
A Di Đà Phật. Thưa thầy, cái vị La Hán đó hòa thượng kể là ngài Chí Công.
Yeah, Chí Công.
Công rồi nghe người phụ nữ nói như vậy thì ngài mới dạy là làm cây roi để cho ông quánh cho đã rồi hết cái nợ.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Chí Công. That's the name of the famous Arhat. He's a 4th-stage Arhat. Okay, very, very famous in the Chinese, in the Buddhist literature. All right. Okay. So that's why this guy studies all the karmic retribution. So he understands cause and effect. If you understand cause and effect, that is wisdom. Wisdom is to be able to link the cause with the effect. Without thinking. Okay? Next, 324. Dharma King, pervasive light, gain a passage into liberation of appearing before the different categories of sentient beings accordingly, so as to tame and subdue them.
普光明梵王，得随一切众生品类差别，皆现前调伏解脱门。
Okay, before I move on to this commentary slide, 325, I have a question for Xian Yao. Would you teach that Dharma door to beat women? You would? You would encourage people to beat women? Seriously? Xianjie, what do Swiss people do? Xianjie having a good time. Panda monk is having a good time. God. How about you? Would you recommend it? I want to hear from a pale-faced monk. Because people accuse me of, a lot of things. Yeah? What do you think?
You're making me laugh.
Is it a fair game or not?
It hurts to laugh.
It hurts to laugh. Okay. We hurt him enough already. Okay. So this guy here, okay, pervasive light, okay, he's pretty influential. His light can be seen everywhere. So he inspires a lot of people and keep people, a lot of celestial beings in check. When they're about to do it excessively, okay? When some celestial being is doing something excessively, he would suddenly see the light of the celestial king here and say, "Oh, I better moderate myself." Anyway, it's just a joke. Because actually, heavenly beings actually tend to go overboard. Okay, because they enjoy themselves excessively. Okay. Anyway, and so what does he do? He says here, 随一切众生品类差别. Okay. So what he does is to appear in front of all sorts of living beings. He appears in front of pandas, in front of dogs, in front of people, in front of women, in front of black people, and so forth. Okay, and all sorts of different living beings. Okay, and he would appear in front of them, and he would tame them and subdue them. Okay, now, where there's accordingly come into play. So again, this is Americanized translation, but is not a good way to translate because they don't understand what it takes. It's not accordingly. It says, according to they manifest in front of living beings, all kinds of living beings. Okay? When you look at that concept, then you need to appear in front of her, in front of the girls there. Okay? That's what they see as accordingly. Okay? And in this case here, I would throw out accordingly as well because it's implied. You don't have to translate everything. You need to understand the process. He appears in front of living beings, manifests, he appears in front of living beings and tame and subdue them. Okay? So he can tame and subdue all kinds of living beings. So far, so good. That's the implication. Number two, he appears in front of them, in front of all kinds of living beings. Okay? So why is there a need to add accordingly? He needs to appear in front of a living being to tame and subdue them. So whatever he chooses, however he chooses to appear in front of them, that's his choice. So accordingly is implied in that manifesting in front of living beings, all sorts of living beings already. Could manifest as a panda, could manifest as a celestial king, to tame and subdue some fish. It's up to him. So accordingly is a concept behind it, but you don't need to translate it. Do you agree or disagree? The Chinese is very precise. He says he manifests in all sorts of, all kinds of living beings. Okay, so that's why if I don't like, accordingly, I would say appearing before all kinds of living beings so as to tame and subdue them. It's much cleaner, much more accurate. This translation in English is loose. Okay, I would say it again for you for future reference. Passage into liberation of 现前, appearing before all kinds of living beings so as to tame and subdue them. That's how I would translate it. And this is exactly what he does. You got that? To translate differently, the way it's translated from the text from them people is it shows that they are amateurs. They don't know what to do. They don't know what it takes to do. Okay, that's why the translation too loose. Yes, 4.
Master, because we're dwelling on American Mahayana these days, I think that the example given in the text is too antiquated for today's standards. Seriously, I think you change it around 180 degrees. The wife is the beater. She is an MMA contender, and her poor husband is a computer programmer, and he gets beat on by this unruly wife.
Unruly wife?
The wife is
careful,
the one that beats
very
up the
young,
husband.
Careful, G.I. Joe. Don't call women unruly wife.
No,
in general.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, what do you call someone? A man would be unruly if he's beating on his wife. So surely a wife beating on her husband would be unruly.
Drop it. You can't win. Let's move on. Yes, it's more complicated now. Us old timers, it's too much for us. You find it funny, young man? 326. Brahma King transforming sounds. Gain a passage to liberation or residing in the purity of all dharmas and the state of quiescent practice.
变化因梵王，得住一切法清净相，即灭行境界解脱门。
Okay. 327. So you see all these things, the previous ones are doing this, doing that, and affecting a lot of people. This guy transforming sounds, okay? YongHua, he can create all sorts of sounds, musical sounds, coarse sounds, pleasant sounds, unpleasant sounds, and so forth, okay? So he's a master at creating sounds. Like I can take this synthesizer and so forth. It's kind of cool. Okay, that's what he does. Okay? How do you become enlightened? He dwell in the purity of 就叫静静相. Okay. So he see now they're doing good. They drop the xiang here. Xiang here is mark. So purity of all dharma includes marks. Okay, so they got it right here. So they said he abides. Okay? He abides in the purity of all dharmas. Meaning that even the filthiest things, he can see their purity. There's wisdom there. Think about it. The most dirty things, the most despicable thing, he sees, wow, it is such purity. Okay? Tremendous insight, tremendous wisdom. He's not caught up into or by marks. Okay? Whatever he sees, oh, that's purity. Oh, that's purity. Oh, the devil is so pure. The devil is actually an angel. Devil is an angel. Isn't that cool? A tremendous wisdom there. And so he dwells in purity, but that's still not enough. He needs to meditate. Jijing is to meditate. So he became enlightened by abiding in purity, meaning refraining from doing impure things, and then he meditates. That's how he became enlightened. So now you have a guy who practices by himself. He doesn't see anyone. And that's possible to open great wisdom as well. Okay? So far so good? Continue. 328. Brahma king, dazzling eyes, gain a passage into liberation of being unattached to anything, boundless, independent, and always manifesting with diligence.
光耀眼梵王，得于一切有无所着，无边际，无依止，常情出现解脱门。
Okay, so this Mahasattva, a 329 commentary slide, okay, what they drop here, first of all, is in the Chinese there's 一切有, okay, meaning different planes of existence. Whatever people in Buddhism, they define the Buddhist teaching as for you, for all living beings, you can be born in different planes of existence. Okay? So there's something like 9 of them maybe? I don't remember anymore. You can look up at the Buddhist dictionary. I didn't have a chance to look it up after lunch today. So anyway, so it's not a very important point. The point is that in all existences that you can choose, okay, he observed all the planes of existence, okay, and he says, in all those things, like that's just for the sake of simplicity, you can see that the Russian culture versus German culture versus African culture, if you look at it as different planes of existence, okay, then he looks at them and he says he can contemplate them all. He exists, planes of existence, and in all of those he has no attachment whatsoever. Okay, he has no bounds. Even when he goes to, let's say, the Polish culture, okay, he's not bound by anything. He said, no, I'm Polish, therefore I only do Polish things. I'm Korean, therefore I only stick to Korean cultures. Okay, because Korean cultures is the best. No such attachment. Okay? The best is an attachment. Is it clear? Okay. So no boundaries is boundless. No ether. meaning that he has no dependency. He doesn't depend on anything. Doesn't depend on a servant. Doesn't depend on a horse. Doesn't depend on AI. Okay? Doesn't depend on anything. How can you not depend on anything? Talk is good, but how do you do that? Talk. How can you become truly independent? You depend on nothing whatsoever. 4.
Master, it sounds like Brahma King Dazzling Eyes has it figured out how to be the best world traveler this world has ever seen.
Okay.
If you go about your goals as a traveler, as he has stated, it's bound to be a wonderful experience.
Yeah. I tell you, I travel, and every time I travel to a different country, you know what the first thing I do? You don't know? What do you do when you travel with a foreign country? I can't believe you don't get this. Panda.
Shoes?
Shoes?
New shoes?
New shoes. He's a shoe man. Yes. What do you love?
Well, it's not what I love, Master, but it seems like every time I go to a new country, the first thing I do is I pass through the duty-free zone, and then I see all the different kind of alcohol and cigars that you can get in that country that you can't get here.
Duty-free zones. Okay. Anyone else? What do you do when you travel? Clearly, you don't travel that often. That's why you don't have this issue. Yes, 4. When you went to Vietnam, G.I. Joe, what did you do?
I kept
you
my
don't
eyes
remember.
open and I watched.
My eyes open because the Viet Cong are dangerous. Okay. We call them tigers with 2 legs. Anyone? What do you do when you travel? I'm leaving for Korea tonight. What do you think I'm doing right now? I'm thinking right now. 9. When you go to Germany, what do you do?
Am I going to Germany? If I step into another country, the first thing I do is I go into the gift shop and I look for something American.
It's so American. I can't stand it. Yes, 6. Huh?
The food.
The food. This is a foodie. This is a foodie. Yes, Colombia. What do you do? I mean, I can't believe you don't have this problem. Yes.
Thank you.
And as a matter of fact, I had to take care of this right away before I left. I realized, whoa, I have to do this. I have to get this. Yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. The first thing I do when I go on on a travel, it's to check my account balance.
Account balance. His wife trains him well. Yes, 9. You guys are real characters. My God.
We have a couple of comments on
Yes.
YouTube. From Cordelia. Master, what can we do to plant the right causes for enlightenment? Emitofuo.
You're doing it. Yes, and next one.
I just saw, I think that's it.
Okay. Go forth. What do you do?
Exchange currency for the country.
Change the currency. My God, what happened to you? Don't you buy and use plastic anymore? Korea takes plastic. You go to Korea, they only charge nowadays. They don't really touch money.
For my bank to make sure that credit card is clear for foreign country usage.
Yeah. Boring. Okay, anyone, what do you do? Okay, I'm running out of time, okay? I'd like to hang around with you, but, enough is enough. Yes, one, what do you do?
Go to the restroom.
As soon as he lands on the airport, he said, just a minute. Where's the restroom? Yes, 9.
Funny about that, huh, Master? Ray Zhuang says the same thing.
The restroom?
I check out the toilets in the new country.
These guys are obsessed with toilets. Oh, how sad. Hey, yeah. You forgetting the most important thing in life, your iPhone. How do you charge it? I go to Korea and I struggle finding the right plug. Every single time I went to Korea, I couldn't find a plug for it. They gave me plugs, it didn't work. I had to go buy one. I went to Europe. Each country have different plug. It drives you crazy. Portugal plug is different from Italy, from France. How can you function without your iPhone? I don't get it. That's the most important thing in life. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you, everyone. See you next time. Thank you.